Alright guys, finally got it apart. That's what it looks like inside. Took the dealio off, valves, and that's the unopened side. So I kind of wanted to give you an idea of how to take it apart. It took a little bit to figure out. So pretty much what you want to do is before you unscrew this whole thing, you want to unscrew all these bolts, these big ones, because that's part of your brake that holds your pretty much band, or your brake band, or whatever it's called. So it attaches to this deal, and that attaches to the top plate. So really dirty. I almost kind of can see a little bit of white little things down there, mold almost. And all these little dots and everything on it is just filthy dirty, and it looks like it's like really weird. But I try to scrape it and it goes out flat. So when I clean this up, I'm gonna clean it up real well down there, and I think it should take care of all this weird little, real nasty stuff. And this too, like, look at it, it's just disgusting. So pretty much what you want to do is before you unscrew all this, you pop those 4 bolts off, leave one in, screw it in just a hair for a special reason. You want to take this apart, your lever off of there. That stays attached to that, so don't even worry about that. This pin comes off. So the pin is right here. Be careful, don't lose it. And it attaches to that little spring, so you can pop that off, take that off, so it gets out of your way there. So then what I did is I took my nice big old home defender and just grabbed it right here. Once I unscrewed everything, I just pulled towards the front of the dozer and popped it open. Be careful, because that seal, once it broke, it kind of flung forward quite a bit. So once you pop this, you want to take where it is, it doesn't matter. You take this thing, you shove it under there, put a spacer in there, something thicker, flip it this way, put it in there. That way you have a gasket. Then you just, since this side is high, which this side would end up being high, you just take this bolt, leave it in there, screw it in just a hair, right? So this bolt, you'd screw it in just a hair, put something in there, and then what you want to do is you take your socket. What I did is I put this thing on top of there and I smacked it with a hammer real hard. So what it did is pop the seal. This was sealed in really good, plus probably a little rust kept it all together. So once you pop that, you just unscrew that, unscrew all the bolts, take the spring out and the pin. Once you get that, this is free from any attachments here, so it just comes right off. And here it is. That's what it looks like. Really nasty. And if I were you guys, I'd recommend putting all your bolts. See, this one bolt missing, they never put one back in there. If I were you, as soon as you unscrew something, put the bolts right back in. Or name it, number it. That's all the bolts for that one. I'm going to put all of them, all the same bolts. And that's for, sorry guys. That was for something else. But I'm going to label this to make sure I don't lose anything. Because it almost feels like every time you take a car apart, when you put it back together, you always have a handful of bolts left over. I talked to my mechanic. He's like, I'm almost like, I need more bolts. So he's either losing bolts or something's going on there. But other than that, so that's that right there. So this thing, remember I guys told you on the last video that I can't press it in right now because I put paper towels in it, plug it in, screwed it in pretty hard, so it's going to stay in there tight so they don't pop out. So I told you guys this was moving differently. There was nothing wrong with this thing. Once I unscrewed it and was playing with it, it actually is really nice. Both of them work identically, about the same, practically. So everything is good on here. The only problem that I noticed, that this one right here, whichever one it goes to, not sure, this side or this side, this one was full of oil, this one was empty. And I think that was my reason. So okay, so if this is full of oil, then that goes to here, because this was felt like consistent. This wasn't consistent. And remember, it had that weird little noise. So that tells me that this thing, this is the one that didn't have the oil, and it just looked really weak and cheesy. So no issue here. It was just oil. So I just plugged them up, covered them up, make sure it's good. So I'm still gonna rebuild it. Labeled all my parts. Make sure when you guys do things like that, obviously, right? I mean, everybody does it anyway. Just make sure that I labeled it so I don't have to fight it and deal with any of that. So just got a little tub here, and it's gonna throw everything in here. Once I'm done, I can put it all back. Pretty easy. It was not that complicated. Got that for good. So to go back, I told you guys I'm gonna tell you about this. So back here, just go through this and show you guys a little bit. So yeah, that's what was that, number 7? Yeah, number 7, steering valve. So that's a steering valve right there. And then over here it shows you, so whenever you're going to be taking all that apart, you got to take apart the track so you can turn it, right? And then there's that brake band that I was talking about, mountain bolts, steering clutch, brake assembly. And then here was that little steering clutch brake assembly. Okay, that's not the name of it. So over here, the whole little setup. So that thing is called, what was that thing? Steering clutch cylinder. So that's what it is. So this thing was the one that wasn't getting disengaged all the way. So this is engaged and this is disengaged. Obviously you can tell there's spacing in between the clutch discs. That's all it is. I didn't notice anything different here. Kind of looks all the same. See anything else that I need to show you guys? So yeah, there it goes. Hydraulic valve, steering valve. Goes to that cylinder. And there it is right there. Alright, so that's it, guys. That's all I got for today. I'm gonna finish taking this apart, and I'm gonna be done for today. I'm gonna go hang out. Alright, thanks for watching, folks.